His focus now is on transition of the industry. Please welcome to the stage the Executive Director of Effra, Zeljko Pazin. Round of applause, please.
Thank you very much. Okay, I see this is working. Well, thanks a lot for the invitation to speak here at this trade fair. I think it's a very interesting concept to have a conference and a trade fair at the same time. So the introduction was already done before Jürgen presented the European programs on research and innovation, and there important aspects are the public-private partnerships. So I will concentrate on one public-private partnership, namely the Factories of the Future, PPP, and as he already said, we represent the private side of this cooperation, whereas Jürgen represents the public side. And so I will say some words about the organization Effra, and then later go into the PPP, and then also come to the role of additive manufacturing in this PPP. So we are an association founded in Brussels. It brings together different organizations, mainly companies, but research institutes also, the big research institutes and the small one, also a lot of Spanish players involved. And it brings also together universities and other interested people. Anybody who is interested in manufacturing, how the future of manufacturing looks like, and who's interested to cooperate among themselves and with the European Commission on research and demonstration projects. This is just a list of some of our members. I couldn't put all of them on one slide. So it's either machine producers or factory automation producers, additive technology providers, but also the pulling industry, so automotive industries, aerospace industry. You see the Airbus, Volvo, and also as industrial associations. These are very important because they provide the network of SMEs with them. So basically it works like this. You have an EU budget doing many things, agriculture policy, cohesion policy, but also a very important research policy. And the fund for research and development is around 80 billion euros over 7 years. And out of this, a bit more than 1 billion euro is specifically concentrating on factories of the future. And that's where you have also a lot of opportunities for additive manufacturing. So it was already a bit said, it links up to the Industrial Revolution, transition of industry, Industry 4.0. I mean, you hear these buzzwords in recent years quite a lot. There's a lot of interest, and this interest is not only among the engineers, but also in media and society. This whole development of ICT technology, it enters our private life. We all have a smartphone, but it enters also every aspect of manufacturing, on the shop floor, in the offices. More and more you have these digital dimension. And so this public-private partnership exists since many years. It was created in 2008-09. It existed already in the Framework Program 7. And as I said, it's a partnership that brings together the public side and the private side. And that's basically what we did. So you have the Factories of the Future PPP being implemented through this cooperation with the European Commission. And that's, of course, where also the funding comes from all these different projects, which I will present later. One important thing is when we do programs in Brussels, the main thing is to connect to the regions, to connect to the member states. So any European program should not be isolated. And here this just to show at national level here in Spain, in Germany, in Finland, in all member states, there are also national programs on smart manufacturing, 3D printing, and similar stuff. So you have this at member state level. But what is important is also to have a European initiative to bring together all these players, because of course a national program in Spain or in Germany, well, it's mainly to concentrate on Germany or Spain. But the European program, the aim is exactly to bring these people together, these experts, and that's probably the biggest added value, so that the Portuguese institute can work with the Finnish company, also from Hungary and all over Europe. We also have an international dimension. I mean, if you read the speeches of Trump and if you look at the programs of China, of Japan, of course, everybody wants to help its industry. So in a way, it's also international competition, and we also look at them. They look at us, and I think we are quite progressed. And since the European Union history and the integration it's all about cooperating with each other. We are even sometimes more advanced than Japan or United States. So I think we are doing fine. If we have these conferences, it's often that they are looking up to us. So I think we shouldn't hide ourselves. But of course, if you look at United States, Silicon Valley, all these companies who are so big, who very fast grew, of course it's challenging, and we are under pressure, and we should be worried, and we need to work very hard to stay on top of all this. Still, in many segments of industry, European industry is world leader, and of course our aim is to keep this at this level. So a bit now more about the factories of the future and how you, the audience, can be involved. Well, it's a very open program. So we identify the interesting parts. So we engage in workshops and conferences with company and research institutes and ask them, okay, this is how European industry looks like. We provide many jobs, many products. What do we need to do to keep up this level? So we create scenarios and work on how manufacturing will look like in 5, 10, 20 years. And from this, we then develop our research needs to be competitive still in 5, 10, or 20 years. And then later, you have projects that deal with these topics. And then it's an open process. All European organizations can participate. They can form consortia and then access this funding. So as I said, we do a lot of conference and workshops, and we created this strategic roadmap which identifies mega trends of society and of manufacturing. And through this we established then research priorities, and then from this later projects come. And especially since we are in such a moving environment, artificial intelligence, simulation technologies, additive manufacturing, I mean, it goes quite fast, and that's why also the roadmap is not static. We are constantly improving it and discussing it and reshaping it, and it's very much part of our work. So when we defined the roadmaps, we looked at what are the challenges, what do we want to achieve. So we want to stay number one or in the top league of manufacturing. I mean, still we produce many cars in Europe, airplanes, a lot of machinery, specialized machinery. So the aim is to stay economically competitive. But we also need to look at the environment, at the social impact, and environmental sustainability. So we also look at this. So this is the goal. Then if you look at the left-hand side, we have certain technologies that we can use. ICT technologies, advanced manufacturing processes, automation, robotics, and also there, of course, additive manufacturing plays a role. And we have constantly this debate, is additive manufacturing a hype? Is it overestimated? Or is it the only future technology and where everybody needs to concentrate on? And this we do in this discussion. And the answer is, well, in certain sectors, additive manufacturing is already mainstream and has gained ground. In other applications, people are still testing. Either it doesn't make sense from an energy point of view, or the materials are too expensive, or people don't trust it yet. So it depends a bit on the niche market, on the sector, where additive manufacturing has penetrated a lot or not the market. So these are, if you look at the research priorities, these are the priorities that were identified. So advanced manufacturing processes, adaptive smart manufacturing. So you see that whereas in the 80s or in the 60s, you had one production line and this production line was producing for 5-6 years. The world has changed. It's all about quickly readapting every 3 months a new product, or even to produce products for a specific person. People want to have a specialized car, specialized shoes, and the colors they would like to have. So it's very important to have adaptive manufacturing. So to have production lines that you can change quickly, that every day the product looks a bit different. So that's a very important part. Then you have the whole ICT part, digital, virtual, resource efficient manufacturing. And this relates also to efficiency, energy efficiency, materials efficiency. What you try to do now is to do as much as possible with the PC, to simulate before you go into production, because production is expensive, so you cannot afford anymore a long trial and error process. No, in the PC you try to simulate the whole process so that when you start production, you don't have too many errors, you get there quicker. So that's also a very important part. Then if you look at domain 4, collaborative and mobile enterprises, so we don't look only at the factory floor, at the machine level, but the whole value chain, logistics, where is the factory located, how do you use cloud technologies, and all this. This is all getting more important. Then domain 4 is on human-centered manufacturing. People, I mean, we are humans, and in factories humans are working, so you need to take the people with you. They need to trust the technology, they need to be trained. Older people who are close to retirement ask themselves, is it worth for me to adapt? Of course it is, so all these aspects are very important. And then you have also customer-focused manufacturing, because more and more responsibility is going towards the customer, who even defines the design often, and that's also an important domain. So these are kind of the 6 domains we identified, and we are shaping these better. So if you look at the second roadmap we published only last year, this is how we fine-tuned these domains. So now we talk about agile value networks, about excellence in manufacturing, the human factor, sustainable value networks, and I mentioned before the ICT aspect is getting more important, so digital manufacturing platforms that are used to connect all these things. So just one thing to locate ourselves. So it's all about doing research and being able to show it. So this is a program not about research, it's really about demonstration, so that you can demonstrate this works in real life. And because only if you can demonstrate it, your possible customer would trust this technology and would be ready to invest in it and buy it. Then I will not talk a lot about the European Commission and the European Union. My previous speaker did showed how rich the portfolio is. So we also connected to this initiative, Digitizing European Industry, and there you see we are focusing on demonstration, but of course standards play a role, regulation, and there of course the European Union is quite powerful to shape the framework when it comes to regulation, what can be regulated and where better we don't regulate. So I will present you a couple of projects. Some of them are really machine heavy and to demonstrate machines. Others are more roadmap based, so creating roadmaps and visions how manufacturing will look like and what do we learn from this. So that's one project about connected factories. With ICT everything will get more connected, and here we are creating We are listening to people who say in 10 years we will be there. And now what we do is so-called backcasting. We say, what do we need to do to reach these goals? And that's that's more about the workshops and conference that I mentioned. So that we have also these kind of activities. So up to date, this public-private partnership launched 250 projects. If you go over there, you will see some of them, because some of these technologies projects look at additive manufacturing, but also others, technologies and other challenges. More than 3,000 organizations got involved so far, so either companies or universities or research institutes. Most of the projects, as I said, do demo activities. We try to reach many SMEs, probably Airbus, Siemens, the big companies. They are doing well and probably they don't need so much help, but especially the SMEs, we try to involve many SMEs in all this. And I would like to stress the Effra innovation portal, where all these projects are mapped and where we present the results of these projects. So if you want to go to the Effra website, you look to the portal, there you can also look at different projects that concentrate on different topics, and there you can also find all projects related to additive manufacturing. So this is just an overview. So every year we have projects starting and they do finish. Jürgen mentioned it, now a call is open, the deadline is February. So if you are interested in collaborative projects, so it's open to SMEs, to companies, to universities, to institutes, to communication companies, because we also need help in communicating these things. There is almost every year there are opportunities for projects. So now a call is open, it will close in February. Next year another call will be opened, and so on. These are a couple of projects on additive manufacturing. As I said, some of them are in this corner. They're European projects. There's a whole corner of European projects, so have a look. And maybe you are already involved. And if you are not yet involved, so it's an open process. You need to find a consortium. So the perfect consortium consists of a company, an institute, and a university. So it's not good if you have 6 universities together, because you need to show that you have a link to industry and that the companies are interested in this and are working on this. So these are, you can check, so every project has a website with work packages. That's FOCAM. That's a very big project. It's, I think, 20 million funding from the European Union, plus the investments by the companies. It's a very big project, and Airbus is involved, the aerospace industry, so have a look. Every project has a website, and also in the Effra innovation portal, we have the results. You can see videos, you can see what kind of patents were produced, what kind of licensing agreements came up. In some projects we have also startups that are being created. So all this you can track and monitor just going through the Effra website. There's another project, CXMan. So this is more on using ICT technologies. So I just invite you to go. This is the overview of the Effra innovation portal. So you can look at all 250 projects. You can look, is your company involved in this? You can go through technologies, through application sector, because you can group these projects around aerospace, automotive industry, 3D printing. So just have a look at the Effra innovation portal to learn more. And there you will also see who are the players, which companies are involved, which research institutes, and maybe you already cooperate with some research institutes, so then you can just ask them to take you along in the next consortium. So I mentioned almost every year there are called topics. In 2016 and 17, if you look there, FOF16, FOF17, there were projects, opportunities just finished, but also now this year there are other opportunities. So I highlighted in yellow what is especially interesting for, I guess you are here because you are interested in 3D printing. So if you look at the pilot line for metal additive manufacturing, that's a very, these will be big projects. And if you are interested in collaborating, well, talk to me. You can go to the website, express interest. You say, I'm an organization, an institute, so I'm looking for partners. So we provide a kind of online matchmaking. And like this, you can meet other people and then engage in projects. So in some of them, for example, skills needed for new manufacturing jobs. This is general, so you can also concentrate on additive manufacturing, but it also can be other things. So some calls, additive manufacturing has a place, and other calls, it's only additive manufacturing. So you have to see a bit what there is. As I said, next year and the year after, there will also be opportunities. So you can already now start preparing for the consortia. These are the call topics for the next years. And all this is done in cooperation with the European Commission and in cooperation with European industry, who told us what they need, what are the interesting future trends. As I said, that's the Ephra Innovation Portal. There you can see through this we monitor the progress of the partnership and of the projects. There we share information, because the aim is that not only organizations who work on this project get the benefit, nor the aim is that the whole community gets a benefit. Therefore, it's all quite transparent, and every project website puts all the information up, what they do and what they did, so that the whole community can learn. And I mentioned it, the last point through this we support brokerage. So I think that's here. If you go on the website, you go on portal, and then you can say, I'm interested in this call on 18, on the pilot line, on additive manufacturing. Here are my contact details. I have an idea, or I already have a consortium, but we need still a university from Northern Europe, preferably, or from Eastern Europe, so it's a kind of online matchmaking. There are also a lot of events. There was yesterday and the day before yesterday a conference in Brussels, where also matchmaking took place physically. There will be a conference in Estonia, end of October, in Tallinn, the Manufuture 2017 conference. So there are, beside the online matchmaking, there are also a lot of events where you can physically meet people and try to engage in consortia. This is from the event yesterday. So there, for example, some 20 organizations presented their project ideas and said we are looking still for an SME or for an institute. So it's also interesting to go through these PowerPoint slides that were presented yesterday and the day before, and maybe their consortium is almost finalized and they are still looking for a partner, and you could be this partner. So please have a look at these slides presented yesterday and the day before yesterday. And I said you can also upload a project idea. Okay, that's it. So I hope I made you interested in this. As I said, you probably know national programs or regional programs, so the same exists at European level, and it's very interesting to open up your horizon and to work with other players. So normally people who get engaged in projects, they want more, and they want to participate again because it's so enriching. And through this, in fact, we created a perfect network at European level, because from these projects then later also business contacts come up. So it's not only about the projects, but people work during 3 years on a project, and then of course from there also business opportunities emerge. So have a look at the website, and I hope I could trigger some interest. Thank you very much.
Very good. Thank you very much, Zeljko. Now then, from our small audience, does anybody have a question? We have a minute, and if you'd like, we could address a question. If not, once again, thank you very much.
Okay.
And as a token of the appreciation of 3D,
Well,
we would like to take this home.
thank you very much.
Okay? Very
Thank
good.
you.
Wonderful.
Thank you.
We have the private sector, and now